Welcome back to An American Homestead, podcasting live from deep within the Ozark Mountains at an elevation of 2,200 feet. It's 10 p.m. Eastern and 9 Central. It's good to be back. It's the Late Show here on the Homestead Network, kicking it off Saturday night, 10 o'clock Eastern, and it's good to finally be back. Had a lot of stuff happen since we've been away. We've had a couple weeks we were traveling, and we had some malfunctions thrown in there as well, some technical difficulties in the weeks past, but looks like we're back, and hopefully everything will be good. Tonight it's about 18 degrees and dropping outside at the homestead right now, with a low expected to be around 6 or 7 degrees tonight. So it's going to be an interesting night, but we got a lot of great stuff planned for you today, and Jamie is here with me. Say hello.
Hello.
So stay tuned for the conversation. If you'd like some more great homestead channels, you can check out the homesteadnetwork.com and see all of the show times that are listed there, and check out some of those homestead channels. So it's the homesteadnetwork.com. Go to their show times. They have homestead channels and shows for every day of the week, and leading up on Saturday, which is Saturday night, to us. So just got back home from having dinner with some friends just down the road from us, and so I haven't had a lot of time for show prep today. I just grabbed the show prep that I had for last week, or the week we couldn't go on air because we were having technical difficulties. So we're just going to go ahead and go through that stuff tonight. So a lot of great stuff, and we'll keep you up to date. What have we done this week? What do we do?
I started painting the living room.
She's remodeling the living room.
I'm really excited. Hey, you guys who are homesteaders out there who live the homesteading life, you probably can understand this a little bit with me. Like, the winter is a great time to get inside projects done. So I really, honestly, I look forward every single week to be able, every single winter to be able to do some big project in the house.
Yeah, she has a history. You almost had a degree in interior design, right?
I almost did. I had my music degree from when I was younger, my BA in music, but then I went back to school for interior design for a little while and had a lot of fun doing that. I was working at the time. I was working full time. So I would just go at nights and on the weekends and stuff like that. But I met Zach.
Woohoo!
So he changed all that, and I finished out the semester, so I did that. But then I never went back.
I wanted her to go back and finish the degree. I don't know why we never did, or you never did.
I think it just wasn't a priority for me, and I realized that I always wanted to be a wife and a mother. I didn't want to go out into the interior design world. Like, you really...
Yeah, you wouldn't want to have done that.
You really have to have some kind of I really like repurposing stuff. I like to do stuff that is cool, but also, thrifty.
Yeah.
But in the interior design world, if you're going to get paid, you need to go to all of these rich people with these big, fancy, huge mansions. That's just not in me. I think it's a waste, and you got me started on something.
I don't know what we got for.
I don't know.
But anyway,
I'm doing the living room. I painted part of the living room this week.
And she's getting ready to paint mold. She did paint molding. You painted molding to get ready to put up.
Yeah. We have a manufactured home. If anybody knows, manufactured homes come with those. I call them little strippy things, but I don't know the really correct technical term. I just call them the strippy things. And they cover the walls, and then the really ugly kind of laminate around the ceiling. So all of that's coming down, and we're putting up real molding. So
yeah. And so the cat's back. So before people left us, last time we talked to people, I had a video where I brought home a cat, showed it on video, and then I talked about how it jumped out of my arms and hit the wood line. And since then, people have incessantly been asking me about the cat. Where is the cat? And did the cat come home? The cat came home.
The cat has worked her way into our lives in a big way. I don't know. We have never been cat people. Although I always had a cat growing up. Zach told me that when we first got married, he said, I just want to make sure that you're okay with not ever having a cat because I will never have a cat. Remember saying this?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, we have a cat.
Yeah, we have a cat now.
And he loves her.
Yeah, the cat's good. My only thing is, if you're going to be an animal and live on this homestead, you must have a job and you must fulfill your purpose. And your purpose as a cat is to kill mice, and so you need to be doing that. We
don't know if it's a mouser. We haven't.
We were told it was a mouser.
Well, we were told that she was born to a mouser.
Which usually indicates that hopefully she was trained.
Hopefully she got a smell for it if Mama brought it back.
Yeah.
But, hey, listen. So I have promised the boys that as long as she follows the rules, we're not going to get rid of her. So she follows the rules. She cannot poop in the house. There is no pooping in the house. Otherwise, she is out and out for good. She can't get fleas. Otherwise, she's out for good. And she can't crawl on the screens.
Yeah. Yeah.
The other one was out for good because she wouldn't leave the screens alone.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see how the cat does. But for now, we like the cat. Also, since we were last here, we gave away our beehives to some of our patrons. So congratulations on that. They should have received them by now. They went out not too long ago, or this last week. And so hopefully they've been delivered, and we'll get some reports back on those. And we do have beehives available for purchase on our website at AmericanHomestead.com. If you guys want to get into bees, you can check out the beehives. They're pretty affordable price. Shipping is free included, so check that out. Also, we have something else on the homestead that...
Yeah, it's a little more exciting than a cat.
You want to tell them?
We got a little miniature Jersey cow.
Yeah.
Our first cow.
Yeah, and so...
I mean, we've had sheep. We've done the goat thing for a little bit. But this is our first cow.
First cow. We have a 4-month-old Jersey. It's about a 75% mini. It's got a little bit of extra in there too. I have the paperwork on her father, and what I'm told is the mother never got registered. The mother is actually about 2 inches too tall to be a full mini, so she's what's considered a mid-size. Anyway, perfect family cow. If it grows up and stays healthy, it'll be a good family cow, producing about 2 gallons, 1.5 to 2 gallons of milk. Per day is what I estimate based on what I know. So, which isn't much on cows, and we're learning, but we have a lot of good experience around us. Our neighbors have raised minis in the past, mini Jerseys, and the people we got her from, they've got some experience. So there's some people around here with experience. So we're gonna have a mini. We have a mini Jersey, and we told everyone on Facebook the other day on Friday that we were going to pick her up. And I said, we don't have a name yet. And there was like over 75, 80 comments.
I know. Everyone wanted to name our cow.
So, and I was like, I'm one of these guys. I want a milk cow name. And there were people who posted names, like regular names, like Jessica and I mean, it was just like, that's not a name. It's not a name for a cow. It's a human name. You don't. And so I was like, or Lauren. I'm like, that's not a cow name. No, a cow name should be something like Buttercup or Milk Dud or Snickers bar, Snickers or no, not Bessie. I just saw somebody post Bessie. Bessie is like, that's like everyone knows Bessie the cow. That's not original. You got to have something original. So what we came up to, I originally, when I saw her younger picture when she was born, she was really light colored. She was a really light colored Jersey, and I'm like, I want to name it Eggnog. Because I like eggnog, Jamie likes eggnog, and Joanne makes eggnog. And I'm like, let's name it Eggnog. And I'm like, that's a good milk cow name because eggnog is made with milk. A Snickers. You name it Snickers because Snickers is made with milk. You name it after something that it's going to be, involved with making. And so she was named already by the owners after some Wensleydale. I'm not sure what it was.
Wensleydale. Wensleydale. I mean, I'm not pronouncing it the British way, but it's a cheese.
A cheese from England.
Yeah.
From Wensleydale, England, or whatever it's called. But so they named her Wendy after the cheese. And that's a good name, in my opinion. You can name her Wendy after a Wensleydale cheese. That makes sense. But, Jessica, Lauren, I mean, those are human names. Stop it. So what did we decide?
Well, it came down to between Truffle and Snickers. And we had a family vote. And drum roll, her name is Truffle.
Truffles. Okay.
No, Truffle. Not Truffles. Truffle.
Truffles? No, not
Truffle.
with no S.
No S.
Okay, Truffle. Truffle. The name of the milk cow is Truffle, like as in a chocolate truffle. And she is kind of chocolatey covered now. I mean, as she's aged and got a little bit older, she turned brown. So she's kind of like a brown cow.
Oh yeah, Wallace and Gromit. Yeah, totally. Okay. Somebody said Wallace and Gromit, and then Donna says Wallace loves Wensleydale cheese.
Oh, okay.
Did you ever see Wallace and Gromit?
Yeah, we watched one of their cartoons, I think, once. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Anyway, Anyway, back to her name is Truffle.
Okay, yeah, Truffle.
She looks like chocolate.
Yeah. So there's the cow named Truffle. We have a cow. Woo! We finally have a cow on the homestead. And the sheep are doing good, and we butchered a couple of them.
And then there are 4.
4 sheep.
How many did we start out with?
We had 6. There was 2 others over there.
We're down to 4 now.
Yeah.
Because, we've been butchering them.
Yeah, and we'll be butchering. Our neighbors are taking one this week, and we're going to be getting butchering the other one probably this week.
Mm-hmm.
And
we'll see.
And so. Yeah, we'll be down to 2, and we're going to keep those 2 till spring. And then in springtime, if these 2 do okay, we're probably going to get, I would say, maybe 2 or 3 ewes, and they're St. Croix. They're a heritage breed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And maybe 1 ram with that. And our friend started out with 4 sheep. The Shalom Acres, you've seen them on our channel. Shalom Acres, they started out with 4 sheep. 3 ewes, 1 ram, and they ended up, I think it was over 70 sheep within 3 years. It bred that much. They bred that much.
Yeah.
70 sheep in 3 years. That's amazing.
Yeah.
They had really amazing success with their sheep herd. And so we're going to go with that, and they don't have any wormers. They're not using any commercial wormers or anything like that. And that was the big mistake we made early on, is we were using commercial sheep where you have to worm them like every 26 days or something. And I didn't want to do worming, but on commercial sheep you have to, because they're real good at dying if you don't. Anyway, what else? Let's see.
Well, we made our salami with it.
Yeah, so we butchered 1 sheep and harvested a deer.
We did that last week.
I've harvested 3 deer this year legally, and we took 1 of those deer, and we took a sheep, and we butchered them, and we made hard salami. We took, so it's 50% deer and 50% sheep in the hard salami this year. And so if you've seen the hard salami videos, there's more videos coming out. We'll be putting another video out this week on the hard salami we made. And guys, it looks amazing right now hanging in the pantry.
Yeah.
That's amazing. It smells delicious.
And then I took all the bones and made a lot of venison and sheep stock.
Yeah, sheep stock.
What do you call it? Mutton stock?
Mutton stock. Well, they're not mutton. They're younger than that. Lamb stock.
Lamb stock?
Lamb stock.
I never had it before, but it seemed like a good idea, and so I just put the bones together.
So we have, back there right now, do we have beef stock back there right now?
Very little left.
So we have beef stock, chicken stock, lamb stock, and venison stock.
Well, the lamb and venison is mixed.
Oh, really, is it?
Because I put all the bones together.
Oh, okay. But still, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I liked it. I made the dish that I took for potluck with it today.
Yeah. So we are knee deep in preserving all of our food, still for the winter, even though winter is basically has almost ready to start here officially.
It's early.
I mean, it's cold out there. I mean, it is really cold. I don't know what the temperature is right now. It's down to 16. It's dropping. Anyway, so we got the meat preservation done. We got the hard salami hanging, and we've got a lot of canned meat in the pantry. And we have another hunting season coming up here soon. It's the 3-day rifle season for the Christmas season. We'll be hunting during that time. And also, we did a bunch of smoked salt. I have a new batch coming online. There's 1 jar left. 1 jar left, folks. 1 jar left of persimmon smoked salt on the American Homestead website. I just checked before the show, and I'm sure will be sold before the evening is over. That stuff goes quick. We've had repeat customers come back and order it again, and so the smoked salt is selling like crazy. And I have a new batch. It's Maplewood smoked salt that'll be up online this week. It's in the smoker right now. I got to pull it out. But it'll be ready to go soon. And so I have 1 jar left of persimmon smoked salt. If you're interested in that, there's 1 jar on the website you can get. T-shirts also, tried to announce that last time we were on the air. T-shirts are done. If you want an American Homestead T-shirt, you can find it online at the website. It says, "I'd rather be on the homestead." Let's see. So I've hunted. We've killed a number of deer this year and butchered those. We canned most of the meat. I'm trying to go through my list of all the things we've done since we've been on here, since we've been on the radio. Yeah. We got a bunch more wood chips delivered from the garden. Tim got a bunch more wood chips. Oh, Tim got a new truck. Oh, not a new truck. It's new to him. But got a new. He basically traded in the 2-wheel drive F-150 for a 4x4 F-150, and so finally we now have a homestead full of 4x4 vehicles, which is good. Because really out here on the mountain, you've got to have a 4-wheel drive vehicle. And so Tim upgraded that this week and traded in his old 2010 truck for a 4x4. What else? Seed saving. Oh, we cut more firewood. Always cutting firewood. We got lots of firewood. Mostly, people are always figuring out new ways to cut fire. You cut firewood down. And you see Wrangler Star and some of these other homesteaders are stacking their firewood. And for us, it's been really easy this year. I've just been cutting the slab wood. I have all those bundles of slab wood down there, and they're all bound together with wire. And as long as you don't touch the wire with the chainsaw, it cuts up real fine. And I went down there, and with like 20 minutes or whatever, 30 minutes, I came up with a full truck full of cut wood. And Tim's like, "You cut all that today?" I said, "Yeah." Because all you got to do is run the chainsaw down the slabs, and there's a whole pile of wood there. Every time you run the chainsaw down, there's a whole pile of wood. And so I just, cut as much as I can, throw it in the truck, and then I'm gone. It's the easiest way for us to cut firewood. Amazingly cheap, very affordable. We bought that last year before winter, and it was like $320 for 8 bundles of slab wood, and it heated 2 houses for 2 winters. That's amazing.
Well, I hope it lasts all winter.
I think it will. I mean, there's a lot of wood down there. So I think it's going to heat both of our houses for 2 winters for $320. I mean, how would you like that heating bill? That's an awesome, affordable way to heat your house. So if you have any sawmills around your area, you can probably get slab wood. If you have any charcoal mills or charcoal plants around your homestead, you can probably get a slab wood. And so that would be very advisable. It's worked great for our family. And so if anybody's interested, the beef middles that we made our hard salami with, we ordered that from butcherpacker.com. If you just Google butcherandpacker.com, or I think it's butcherandpacker.com is the website, you can go there and order beef middles. And those middles, and they even make synthetic ones now too, where you can use to make hard salami. And it's really an easy process. And so we'll walk you through some of that when you see the video this week. We'll put the video up online. You can watch us make our hard salami. And like I said, it's hanging in the pantry. It'll never be refrigerated. We still have sticks of hard salami hanging in the pantry that's over a year old and has never been refrigerated, and it's perfectly fine to eat. So what else? I saved a bunch of popalo seeds, went out there, and got more popalo seeds for the Homestead web store. So if anybody likes cilantro, popalo is the way to go. That's like probably your second favorite herb, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, besides basil.
Yeah, I like basil and cilantro. But
Yeah.
yeah, popalo is a good replacement. I like it.
So in the middle of July, when you cannot get cilantro because your cilantro plants have bolted, you want popalo because it tastes pretty much like cilantro. And it's great for salsa, Mexican dishes. People who are from Central America are very familiar with that plant. It grows about 7 foot tall, and you can harvest from it until your first frost in November or whenever your first frost is. It grows amazingly well, and it's a great replacement for cilantro when you can't get it. And those seeds are available on the website. What else? So remember a few months ago on our podcast, and I have some pictures for this too, but a few months ago, there was that floating boat that was like a flying saucer.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So, we talked about how ridiculous it was, and because they have a guard. Basically, it's this floating flying saucer that floats out in the ocean, and they had this little thing with like a bike path on it and like grass. And someone made the point, there's no way grass could grow on that because the ocean salt spray would kill the grass, which is totally true. And they had a mailbox, which was the most ridiculous thing. There was a mailbox in front of each one.
Like somebody on a jet ski comes around and delivers their mail.
Right. So what they did was they upgraded it and they have a new version. And we're going to talk about that and show it next week and talk about the ridiculousness of it again. But what I'm leading into is this whole thing. It's the Water Seer. So I'm going to put the picture up on the screen. You guys will be able to see it. Let me go over here to my software. And, no, not that one. Water one. There we go. So you guys should be able to see this on your screen. And it's called the Water Seer. And I have seen this posted up on Facebook. People are touting this. And what they do when they see this on Facebook, they're so excited. And they want to let us know about it. And they say, Zach, and they tag me in, on Facebook like they do. And they tag me and say, Zach, have you seen this yet? This looks amazing. And the device supposedly can pull up to 11 gallons of water from thin air. Thin air. So wouldn't you want that in your homestead? The problem is it doesn't work.
I'm not living in the desert.
Right. Well, even then, it's even harder for that to work. So basically what it does, it pulls water out of the air. And everyone knows that when you live in arid places, there's very little water in the air to begin with. Right. So remember, this is the whole thing we talked about with the ZeerPot.
Well, the ZeerPot doesn't work because it's based on evaporative cooling, which would work the other way.
So the reason I called this, and I titled this show, Water Seer and Off-Grid Vaporware, there is probably not a week that goes by where people, and guys, I know I see you guys in the chat room. We will get to you guys. You guys can post your questions. We'll leave about 15, 20 minutes left at the end, and you can post your questions in all caps, and we'll get to them. But we'll post the question. We'll do the questions at the end. But until then, Water Seer and off-grid vaporware. When I was working in the software industry, there was this phrase called vaporware, and what that is that I worked for some of these companies too. I remember some of them. You work for some of these companies where the CEO of the company would go in and try to sell a product to investors and make up all kinds of miraculous things that this software did, and they didn't have anything to back it up. And so what they would do is they would get the investment money, the angel investor money, and they would come back to all the developers, us, and be like, hey, so we need to develop the software. Here's what we need it to do. And we're all like, what? You can't do that, or no one's ever done that before. But what they would do is they would sell what we called vaporware. They would make something up and tell people that they could make it happen, or they already had it working, when in reality they had nothing.
Okay, so you had to build it in graphics as if it was a real life thing.
Exactly. So we had to build it in graphics. We had to build interfaces. I mean, I made some of the most slick interfaces of things that still have no existence today. But CEOs and investors and people took these things and tried to get people to give them their money.
It's a fiction movie.
Yeah. Well, this isn't. This Water Seer, what this Water Seer is, it's a bunch of people, and it's a company that partnered with basically fooled a bunch of universities, Berkeley and a couple of other places, saying we could do this, that this thing was going to pull water out of the air and make water for people who lived in arid regions and deserts and third world countries and such. But the problem is, it doesn't work. A bunch of scientists got together and were like, there's no way you're going to pull water out of most of these places, even on the best days. Even if you lived in a place where there was 100% humidity 100% of the time, you're still not going to produce the amount of water you're talking about. And what I see, like I said, not a week goes by where people don't email me or tag me on Facebook or you and say, hey, you got to check this out. And we look at it and we're like, okay, that's not going to work. Or maybe we've tried it or we've heard about it before or, but this one I hadn't heard about before. So I looked at it and there's all kinds of videos out there debunking this from scientists, people who know about, humidity and, meteorological sciences, whatever those called.
It's just dumb because, I just got finished writing an article for the Molly Green magazine about collecting rainwater. And that's something you can do. That's something really anyone can do as long as it's allowed in your municipality. However, the water is there. It's free for the taking. It falls from the sky.
Right.
And the editor wrote back and she said she had a bunch of questions. But what I neglected to say in the article was that rainwater is not our only source of water. We also have 2 wells. You can't have only one source of water and be prepared, in our opinion. We've spread our water usage around.
Yeah, we have water catchment, we have wells. Even if we have ponds, if we had to use that, there's always different options to get, the water, because water is the most important thing. So
let's just invest in this fancy technology.
Oh, yeah, because they have an Indiegogo campaign, and that's what they're doing. This is all vaporware. It's like vaporware. It's the same thing from my software days, is that they're using these ideas to rip people off and get them to send them money, thinking that they're going to be able to develop these things and talk with angel investors, and it's all a scam. It's a scam. And so there's a lot of these things out there, some of them more devious than the others, some of them more evil than the others, because this is an outright scam. And the best way these things, because I get tagged on these all the time. The best way you can pick these out is when they have these models and they're all 3D images of models. So it's not photography. It's 3D imaging that someone's made in a graphics program of whatever they're trying to sell you. And so this is one of those things. I have another picture here where you can go and see the bug out. So if you look at this picture right here, this is called the Water Seer Busted, and it's one of the debunk videos out there that from scientists who have studied this and like, this is not going to work, here's why, blah blah blah, and they give all kinds of reasons why this isn't going to work. And so really interesting out there. But so I've seen this going around on a lot of the homesteading Facebook pages and Facebook groups, and people think, oh wow, that's so cool, or are these available today? Where do we get them? And they're not available. They'll never be available. It's a scam, and God help you if you actually donate money to these people, because you'll never see anything from it. But the other thing I was going to talk about was the ZeerPot. So, because it's kind of like that. The ZeerPot won't work for us here. The ZeerPot might work for someone in a desert,
right,
in an arid climate, because the ZeerPot, if you're not familiar with it, I'll put it on the screen as well.
Well, also there's some ratio, so it's not going to get cool beyond what the air will allow.
Right. So I'll put a picture on the screen here of the ZeerPot, and let it load here for a second. But when it loads, basically it's a pot within a pot, and in between the 2 pots is sand. And you put sand in between the 2 pots, and then you put water around that sand to moisten the sand. And as it evaporates, it creates a cooling effect on the inside pot.
Well, because you put a wet cloth over it. So you want to keep the cloth wet over it. So what happens is that the cloth stays cool as the water from the cloth evaporates into the air.
Right. But doesn't the evaporation also cool the pot inside?
it cools what's underneath the cloth. What the sand and the water is doing is creating insulation, but also creating a moist environment for what's inside. So the more water that's around it is evaporating into the air.
Yeah, so Jamie wrote an article on this about a year ago.
No,
2
it
years
was a
ago.
couple of years ago. It kind of bugged me, and here's why. Because I know that people mean well, and it's cool when I get good ideas from people, and I really enjoy talking with people and getting new ideas. Because we all have a just different perspective. So I just have to preface that. Like,
Yeah, we love new ideas.
but this ZeerPot, it kind of bugged me because everybody and their brother and sister were telling me that I should use this because I didn't have a refrigerator, and it would be the answer to all of my troubles.
We still don't have a refrigerator.
Yeah, it would be the answer to all my troubles, and I would be able to keep my food cool, and it's so simple, and it's off-grid, and it has requiring no electricity whatsoever, and on and on and on, and like it was some kind of a miracle thing. Anyway, so I'm pretty skeptical by nature. I really don't take anything that is given to me with 100% guarantee. I always have to research it or figure it out for myself. Anyway, so I started researching this thing. And basically how it works is how we had said. The water from the cloth and from the sand in the pot evaporates into the air. And it's called evaporative cooling. And so think about here in Arkansas and other places in the South, our air is really humid. Now, humid air is not going to pull, I guess that I'm not a scientist.
Well, it will, but just not as fast.
But it wants to achieve an equilibrium,
Right.
is what I understand. Okay,
Right.
I'm not a scientist, so...
No, it's equilibrium. That's right.
Okay, so, yes, so it evens itself out. So the water in the cloth is going to equal itself out, equalize with the water in the air. So if the air is already full of water, the air is not going to pull any more water out of the cloth. So the slower the water gets pulled out of the cloth, the less cool the pot gets. Okay, so if your air is already full of water, your pot is not going to get cool because it's not pulling water out of the cloth. The air is not pulling water out of the cloth fast enough.
Yeah, so when you're in Northwest Arkansas in the Ozarks in the middle of July or August, and it's 95 degrees with about 60% humidity.
And somebody out there actually worked out an equation of how cool you could actually conceivably get. But my point, and it has always been my point, is that when you see these pictures, what do you see in those pots?
Vegetables.
Vegetables. You don't see meat. You don't see cheese. You don't see leftovers.
Where's the beer?
It's vegetables. Okay, so I'm done making that point.
Yeah, they're not trying to keep something like from spoiling because, it's just the ZeerPot is I wouldn't say it's vaporware because it does work. It would work in like a desert. But it's still not gonna keep meat from going bad.
No.
It's just not gonna work. So
no, it's meant to be used in arid climates, and they use it for vegetables to keep them from wilting too fast.
Right. So anyway, it's things like that. I get tagged on things like that all the time, and we'll like I said, we'll recap on that whole flying saucer ocean disc thingy next week and talk about that some more. But the other thing I was going to mention, the Tesla battery. So, I always see these things, Tesla. They got so many cool things that use an off-grid. They do all these shingles for solar and all this stuff. And I'm like, at first, because I hear about all the other ones, I'm like, man, this is just more vaporware. And I don't think it is. It's way out of the realm, I think, for average homesteaders who and I'll put some pictures up here. I'm gonna go over here and put the picture up. This is the Powerwall. It's called the Tesla Powerwall, and it, in my opinion, is way outside the realm of of normal homesteaders, normal people, and it's like, I think it's like $7,000 for the minimum order for that battery, and you can do a double order, and I think it's like, I don't know what it is, like double that price. But for just one battery, for the house battery that you see on the wall there, it's about $7,000, and I don't think that's all included with installation and everything. I'm not sure.
What does it do?
It powers a home. It's like a really ultimate, just a big, very, very powerful battery, and all the technical details are on the website on Tesla.com. If you go to Tesla.com/Powerwall, you can find it. But I have not yet met any homesteaders who own this. What they're targeting mostly with this battery and with their products in general are people who have a lot of money. And hipsters, people who have a lot of money, live in suburbia, have really nice homes, and I mean, is that what a hipster is? I don't even know.
I don't know. Are they trying to save the planet?
Oh, I guess. I mean, isn't everyone trying to save the planet? Does the planet need saving? Okay. Excuse me, we're going to go down some roads we don't want to go down. So, so Tesla, really expensive stuff. But a lot of people tag me on this, and a lot of people share these products on the homestead websites and homestead pages and groups on Facebook. And they're like, see, you got to get this, Zach. This is the Tesla battery. And if you go to the Tesla's energy link or whatever, you can see their shingles where they basically shingle an entire roof, and all the shingles are actually mini solar panels that all hook up together. And what they do is they charge your battery for you that you see there. And that's a whole other ballgame of prices. And it's just a whole, someone says it's for rich people only. So people keep tagging me, with these things. And I'm like, dude, you have no idea. So I don't know. People keep tagging me on this stuff. I don't think Tesla's Vaporware. I think it's real. People are actually using this. It looks really neat, and I bet it works great. The problem is it's not for the average person. That's what I'm saying. So there's always something with these things. It's either Vaporware, or it doesn't work for most climates, or it's oversold as something that it's not, or it just can't be afforded by average people. Someone says those batteries are highly toxic. I haven't heard that, but batteries are usually toxic anyway. That's why you keep them outside of your living area when they're running, those big batteries like that, especially when they off gas. I don't know what this one is. I mean, AGM batteries and the like don't off gas, but maybe this one does. I'm not sure. Anyway, but that's the Tesla, and it's interesting. But again, it's not, like I said, it's out of reach for most people.
You know what I think is funny about all this stuff, and I don't know, we kind of think it's entertaining to look at some of this stuff and pick it apart, and we're not trying to be negative, but what I think is funny is that people get so excited about these things, but what I would really love to see them get excited about is actually getting out there and living without something for a while, and then and only then, if you really need it, then get it back.
Yeah.
But I think that that's the way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, test yourself.
I mean, we're looking at all of this stuff, and people are posting, we need this. This is awesome. We should have this. But what we really need is just to get out there and try doing without something for a while.
Yeah.
And realize that it's kind of cool.
All you need as a human being is water, food, and shelter. Okay? Now, all those things vary. But water, food, and shelter. You don't need a refrigerator. We've lived without a refrigerator for 4 years now.
I just think it's cool to study how people did it before they had all of these conveniences and realize that this is only just, I don't know. Sometimes I look at it and I just think it's a facade.
I think there's ways we can definitely better ourselves and live more efficiently and to benefit us and the things that are on our homestead. I think we can do that. The problem is I don't think the newest, latest, and greatest gadget always has to be the answer for you. I think
That's what I mean.
Yeah, I know. I'm totally with you. I'm just reiterating the fact. So, but I think people are quick to go to the new, fancy and shiny things when they see them and think that's going to solve all their problems. But anyway, yeah, there's always new things that are coming out, and what we like to do when we talk about videos, we do videos on these things, and we write articles, we really try to liken them to the historical significance of it. You know, like Jamie said, what did people do 100 years ago? What did they do 200 years ago? What's the history of meat? Like we did meat preservation last week. What's the history of what's called charcuterie? I mean, it was a first century France. It's the first time it was recorded, charcuterie. It was first century France. You know, how did they do it back then? Now, with modern knowledge, we know that there's lots of easy ways to do it and do it safely, so you don't get sick. I mean, like I said, I have meat hanging in my pantry that's a year old. It's never been refrigerated, and it's perfectly fine to eat. You know, but there was knowledge that I had to acquire to be able to do that and do it to where it's safe. You can't just throw meat, you know, on the shelf and expect it to be okay. You're going to kill yourself. But with modern knowledge and education, you can do these things. So, but it takes some learning, you know. So you go learn something. But anyway, let's see. Let's open it back up. We're about 15 minutes till. What if you have questions? If you just have something you have to ask us, put it in all caps, and we'll try to answer it. What else is going on? Anything?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I feel like I'm just still trying to catch up from traveling.
Yeah, so we're kind of out of it for a while. I'm trying to think what else we've done. Mostly it's just been getting ready to hunker down for the winter. We got a lot of stuff going on.
It's crazy. It got so cold so soon.
What's it at right now?
Normally it doesn't get this cold so soon this early in December. I mean, we've had temperatures like this before, but at this point, I'm thinking we're going to have a really harsh winter.
Yeah, we need a harsh winter. We had way too many bugs this last year.
Have we considered an icebox? Yes, and you know what? Technically, we have an icebox. It's called a cooler. I mean, it's the same principle.
Yeah.
Ice boxes are prettier.
So years ago, they basically had these wooden cabinets called ice boxes.
Right, but they had some insulation in
right.
them. And they would bring in the big ice cube from the ice truck that came around to drop it off at the door.
They would pay for ice like we do.
Yeah, and they'd stick it in their ice box in their kitchen.
Yeah, so we do that. Obviously, we don't do it all the time. Mm-hmm. We just do it in the hot times of the year. But like right now, it's 16 degrees outside. The world is our ice box. Mm-hmm. So we just we don't need anything. We just if we want to cool something down or freeze it, we put it outside.
Well, also too though, like a cooler is really good for keeping things outside in this weather, but inside the cooler they don't freeze. So it keeps food cold, but yet it also doesn't freeze the food because there's some insulation that keeps it from freezing. Generally, unless we have a long drawn out period where it's below freezing for a long time. Right.
If for some reason, guys, we don't get to your, I'm trying to detach the chat, pop out chat. If for some reason we don't get to your chat question, please repeat it and we'll get to it. Okay, guys. So do you know anything about Cordwood Homes? Yeah, I do a little bit. I know some people who've built Cordwood Homes, and I know from what I understand from them and reading about it, they're really good at really good at insulation. I mean, they're really insulated. I just don't. I think it's a lot of work based on what people have told me and looking at it myself. Basically, the cord is you're taking these blocks of wood and you're positioning them, and that's the wall. You build them up. I don't know if I would ever want to do that. And if I was going to build a home, I would probably build a stone foundation with wood, and then use wood on top of that. I don't think I'd ever build a cordwood home.
Yeah, and I also don't think I'd ever build a metal house.
No. You mean like a metal house? With
the barn, with the barn.
Oh, barn, like a Metal pole barn?
Yeah.
Oh, because we've heard people who have insulation problems with them.
They have a lot of insulation problems.
Because it like rains in the house.
Well, they gotta insulate them enough so that it's not bleeding dripping water inside in the wintertime when they're heating it inside. Basically condensating.
Yeah.
And then enough insulation where it's not like an oven inside during the summer.
Right. Yeah, so I don't think we're gonna do a cordwood home. And like I said, if we miss your questions, please post it again. We'll get to them. Let's see.
What knife sharpener are you using, and where did you get it? Did we have the warthog in the?
It's the warthog.
It's called the warthog. You can just Google that. We got it, I don't know, at least 10 years ago.
Still working pretty good. We need new blades for it. Not blades, but what is it? Stones for it. They've kind of worn out, I think.
Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
Stones?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's like these little metal bars, and they have this grit on them. And we could use
I like it. I think it's really cool. It sharpens really well.
Yeah, so it's called the Warthog. If you Google the Warthog, it's really been probably one of the best sharpeners I've ever owned. And I really like the Wrangler Star one that he posted about on YouTube a while back, but it was like $250 for this. I mean, it was a really nice sharpener, but $250 just out of my price range. And the Warthog is going to be a lot cheaper, and I'm telling you guys, it's amazing. It's good. I would really recommend the Warthog. Let's see, what else is it? It's what is that? I saw one here. Do you get tired of cooking?
I don't know. Do I get tired of eating?
What have you cooked in the last?
It kind of goes hand in hand.
What all have you cooked in the last 48 hours?
Was that a real question?
Yeah. You get tired of cooking right there.
Oh, I thought you meant 48 hours.
Well, yeah, I'm just gonna. You could tell about what you've made in the last 48 hours.
Well, for over the weekend, I made a chicken and rice casserole, and I made cinnamon roll biscuits, and what else? I made cream and broccoli soup.
Yeah, that was really good. Cinnamon roll biscuits were good this morning too.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like probably the answer to that should be yes. I think everyone gets tired of cooking to some degree. But when you get tired of cooking, you just make something simple or open something that you've canned.
What chickens do best in cold climate and produce the best for eggs and meat? What you do, Mr. Rain, and what you need to do is go to our website and search for chickens and read all the articles on our chickens. And you'll see some answers there. We definitely chose our chickens for the specific purpose of eggs and meat, or a healthy mix between the two. So, and we're doing quite well. Our eggs are really slow in production right now, but they should be picking up here about the time of January rolls around. So we got a few more weeks. The chickens have slowed down. It's only the mature hens that are laying right now, and they're slowing down because we got rid of most of them. The ones that we hatched, all the new chickens that we hatched, many new chickens, I think 40 of them. I'm not sure exactly, but there's a lot. They're getting ready to start laying here pretty quick in the next couple weeks, so we're going to be in the eggs again.
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
Yeah, so I think last year, you'll see an article on there on our website how we harvested 1,447 eggs in one winter.
Yeah.
But by the time the actual winter started on December 21st until winter ended at the spring equinox, winter, we produced 1,447 eggs on our flock, and you can do it too. So that's one of our most popular articles. Check it out. Let's see, what else? Do you have a good kitchen knife recommend?
Do you remember that video we watched with Alton Brown? We're big Alton Brown
We
fans.
love Alton Brown.
We love Alton Brown, and we watched his Good Eats show years ago. But I don't know, it was a year or so ago, we ran across a YouTube video where he was recommending a specific knife. I told Zach, I said, if I ever had extra money that I didn't have to use for anything else.
How much is the knife?
I don't remember. It wasn't cheap.
Do you remember the brand?
No. But if you search for Alton Brown knife, I don't know, recommendation or knife.
Yeah, I don't know.
He was saying it was the only brand that he'd ever used. And the way that he used it and chopped and all those things, it looked awesome. I would love to try that knife.
Yeah. Also, if you didn't know, Alton Brown, I mean, he kind of goes against the grain in his industry. He's a very stout conservative. He likes guns, and he likes reading the Bible. So if you don't know who Alton Brown is on the Food Network, very entertaining guy. I really enjoy watching him. We enjoy watching him. Me and my wife consider us to be foodies, and we are very entertained by his shows. And I like the fact I read not too long ago that he's a very staunch conservative and he likes guns. So that's cool. Anyway, he'd fit in well here on the homestead. Let's see what else. If you are. If you want information on more articles, you can find all kinds of things on livestock, chickens, gardening, solar power, guns, everything, all on our website at AmericanHomestead.com. So if you want to check that out, go there. And let's see. Getting your vehicle ready for winter. I don't know what you guys... Oops, I just dropped my thing here. I don't know what you guys do for your vehicle in the wintertime, but I don't really prep too much for my vehicle other than making sure the fluids are topped off. But I have an article posted in the comments below on getting your vehicle ready for winter, depending on where you live. I know most of the U.S. right now is going through a little bit of a snowstorm. So I don't know where it is, what it's like where you are at, but it's about 16, 15 degrees outside right now. And the cat is happily curled up on the kitchen, on the couch. It says, Minuteman Homestead says you have to have a separation barrier between roof and insulation and humidity vents, and you need a roof that doesn't leak. Well, a roof that doesn't leak would be good. I'm not sure what they do for the insulation. I mean, they still have it where it rains in there. What is your ARFCOM name? My ARFCOM name is Missouri Carry. That's because I used to run the MissouriCarry.com website. I started that website. I was on the board of directors for the Missouri Sports Shooting Association for 8 years. And that was when I worked I volunteered as a lobbyist in Jefferson City with a lot of Second Amendment guys. But I started MissouriCarry.com, and so that was my handle on ARFCOM. And if you have ever been on ARFCOM for any length of time, I've been on there since 2005. So I'm an old timer on there. I do a lot of lurking. You'll know that ARFCOM does not allow you to change your name. Because if I could, I even emailed the guys. I'm like, please, please, please let me change my name. Because I changed it to an American Homestead. But they wouldn't let me change my name. So I don't know what it is about changing a name. But on ARFCOM, you cannot change your name. So if you know what ARFCOM is, my ARFCOM handle is Missouri Carry, all caps. And you'll see my avatar of Tom Selleck, my favorite show in the 1980s, Magnum P.I., flying in the helicopter and loading his Uzi.
Oh, yeah. Denise Canterbury. Alton Brown uses shoe knives.
Shoe knives, okay.
Anyway, I always thought that was interesting, and it just came to mind when somebody asked about what knives I use, because I don't have a recommendation on knives. I still use knives that were given to us when I registered for our wedding years ago. And I think they just came from Bed Bath & Beyond. They're not.
What is they expensive?
I don't know.
Zach, do animals eat your shiitakes? From Jan Partain. Jan, are you related to Philip Partain? Are you the guys who just won the beehives? I'm not sure. You can post if you're not. Animals eat your shiitakes. I think the chickens will. I have never caught the chickens eating this because some of our mushroom logs are over by the chicken coop, and I have them surrounded with fencing. But I think they would if they had the opportunity to eat those shiitakes. So I have the logs over there surrounded by fences, and I have some other logs in a different area, so we're away from the chicken coop. So hopefully they won't get to them. But I think they would do that. As far as other animals, deer would eat them. Deer would absolutely eat the mushrooms if they came across them. But they're too close, I think, to the house for them to do that. So, what else? What's a shun knife cost?
I don't know. You'd have to Google it.
We'll Google it after the show. Maybe we'll talk about it next week. Okay, Jan Partain says, no, not related that I know of, but I live in Fayetteville. Okay, well, the reason I asked is because Philip Partain, who is one of our patrons, Philip Partain was one of the winners of the beehives. So that's cool. And Jamie is hard at work on her laptop now. She's going to go look up shun knives and see how expensive they are, how much it's going to set us back.
I remember making the point to you a while back that we invest in good tools to use around the homestead.
Yes.
A knife in the kitchen is my tool, right? But I'm not saying I need a new knife. I'm just saying that it's a good point. This woman wants to know what are the best knives, because if you're going to invest in a tool, it should last a long time.
Right. An 8-inch chef knife from Shun is about $140. That's pretty expensive.
Yeah.
Is that like the one you had now? Is that an 8-inch knife?
It's somebody knows. Somebody tell me. What's that big fancy Japanese word for the knife that's kind of like a chef knife?
Well, we only got about 3 minutes left, so we better hurry up.
Sous something. No.
Sous chef knives?
No, a sous chef is just a helper.
Oh, okay. I don't know. She said, Weed Tree Bonsai said, I found several at Goodwill, yet bought them all.
Huh, that's cool.
You found shun knives?
That's awesome.
At Goodwill? That's crazy.
Huh.
Anyway, yeah. Shun knives. Let's see. Oh, he says Jinsu.
No, that's not it.
One guy says, time to start blacksmithing. I'm not making my own now. I'll just go to like the dollar store and buy knives. Santuku?
Yeah. Daisy Girl, yeah. I thought it was Santuk. I don't know. But yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Huh.
That's my favorite knife. I'll use that for Santoku. Yes.
Santoku.
Whose ever that is.
We Tree Bonsai said I did. Yeah, he got
Zyphos.
Amazing, guys. Amazing. You can find those kinds of knives there. Anyway, I hope, guys, I haven't seen too many complaints on connectivity tonight, so hopefully people have been hearing us okay. We did look in at expanding our internet download and upload speeds, but the phone company said we could not do it, and they could not upgrade us because we're too far out here. They said you're lucky that you get DSL to begin with, so you better like it and stop complaining. So, and that's right. We are in the middle of nowhere. The fact that we have DSL is amazing. But we did find a new technology. I guess it's like wireless, and it transmits over high gain antennas. And there's a company that will sell us an antenna, and it's like a hefty install fee, like $250. But I guess with this antenna, you can get up to 5 to 15 megabyte downloads, same as uploads, and very low latency. So it's way better than satellite. And so I think maybe we're going to do that. I'm not sure yet. We're talking it over and seeing it. I'm going to make sure that it's going to work. But they give a 10-day trial, so I think we may talk about that next week and let you know what we're going to do. But we're looking for better internet service than what we have right now. So it is hopefully going to be on something that you'll... Hopefully the stream is good and clear tonight, but it's definitely something we're trying to improve on. So that's what I'm trying to say. Did you find out something on the knife?
Oh, it's a different brand, but it's Santoku.
Santoku.
That's my favorite knife. I'll use it for most everything. That style of a knife.
Okay. All right, well, guys, thanks for coming in again this week. And if you're interested in downloading our podcast, you can go to your favorite browser and search for extensions or add-ons, and they have YouTube downloaders that will download as MP3, and that way you can download and listen to our podcast anytime you want, in the car or wherever, and take us wherever you go. All right. Well, we'll see you guys next time on the Homestead. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll be back next week.
Bye-bye.